You are now tuned into Sanya on Air. Yes, why don't we bring in the applause? Applause, applause, applause. You are now tuned into another fabulous edition of Sanya on Air. I am your lovely host, Miss Sanya Hudson. And how do I start off each and every single show for you? Well, let me just start off by saying I'm tired. I raced into the studio like I just sat down. So I'm going to woosah because today is going to be like every other show, just action-packed, engaging, and informative. We have two great guests coming up. Later on in the show, I have Masia Lusha. She's an actress known for her roles on The George Lopez Show, Sharknado 4, you know that's like a cult classic, and she's also going to star in the upcoming Sharknado 5 and also a Lifetime channel movie called Forgotten and Evil. So I just want to pick her brain a little bit. You know I love to talk to these Hollywood fashionistas, and she's so smart. But you know what? I have another guest. She's going to be joining us in our Hot Topics segment. Now, I don't know if you know this person. No, I know you do. Keisha Cole's sister, Neffeteria. I'm sure that you've seen the Iyanla Vanzant Fix My Life with Neffeteria, and it caused quite a controversy. Well, she'll be joining us. So make sure that you stay tuned so that you can listen to how she felt after Iyanla. She kind of went in. So let's get started with Hot Topics. And now it's time for Hot Topics. Did you hear about what happened? I can't believe all of this is going on. Everyone's talking about it. Nope. Welcome back to Sanya on Air. Before we go into Hot Topics, I just want to once again give a shout out to all of my new listeners tuning in Georgia at 12:30 a.m. The Blaze. I'm so excited to be syndicated in Georgia. So let's get started with the first thing that made me just say, oh, really? Now, you know, it took me some time to drink the Beyonce Kool-Aid, but now that I have, I am so drunk in love. Well, you know that she's pregnant with twins, and she was supposed to be at this year's Coachella, but she decided to cancel that and vacation in Bora Bora. I'm not mad at you. Not at all. Well, the internet trolls have struck again. Now, the other day, Beyonce was photographed sitting in a car leaving a Hollywood party. Well, guess what the internet trolls decided to do? They decided to call her fat. Are we serious? People, do you not know how sensitive pregnant women are? Let me just tell you a story about when I was pregnant, just real quick. So I remember one time I was in my early stages of pregnancy, maybe I would say 8 weeks, somewhere around there. And my friends and I were going to go out to a club. Yeah, I was going to a club and I was with child. And my friends and I, we get out of the front door and I stopped everyone and I said, no. We have to go back upstairs. And they were like, why do we have to go back upstairs? And I said, because I want a cheeseburger. They did not want to go back upstairs so I can fix me one more cheeseburger, because I'm going to admit I did have a cheeseburger before we left my apartment. But when we got downstairs, the cheeseburger, you know how just the lingering savoriness of the food, I wanted another one. Second story. I'm going out again. Yeah, I was one of those. I had my daughter when I was in my early 20s. And every woman has their favorite pair of jeans. Matter of fact, I have on a pair of jeans today. I think they're going to be my new favorite jeans by 7. But anyway, so I tried on. They were black. I'll never forget. My favorite black jeans. They didn't fit. They did not. I boo-hooed like a baby. And on those 2 occasions, yeah, my friends were looking at me like I had lost my mind. I say all that to say, leave Beyonce alone. The weight gain comes with pregnancy. Let me tell you something. Television has gotten you all a little bit confused and mixed up, because celebrities are able to have their babies bounce back very, very quickly, because as soon as they, give birth to the child, they automatically go under the knife. Or, that's true. It's true. Or, they're pregnant, but, the stylist, they're able to style them in such a way where you would not even know that they were pregnant. Let's move on to another story. You know, I've been reporting on this for quite some time, a few weeks. So Tiny, whose real name is Tamika Tiny Cottle. I didn't even know that. Like, I really thought her name was Tiny. I really did. All these years. Her name is Tamika. Okay, so she finally adds more to the narrative of why she was hugged up with Floyd Mayweather. Now, it is alleged that the main reason that T.I. split from her was because of this sort of suggestive picture that Tiny was in with Floyd Mayweather. Well, anyway, Tiny was on a popular talk show and she was upset with T.I. And she said that night of Floyd's party, that's the only reason why she was there, is because she was so upset with T.I. because he should have been a better husband. Now, how many ladies are pros at getting back at their man? What are some of your tactics? Let me just list some that I've heard of. I've only heard of this first one, withholding sex. Now, that's a crazy one. I'm not going to punish myself. We can still do that. I may not look you in the eyes, but it's still going down. Some of you stop cooking. I don't do that because I don't cook. Well, I cook sometimes. Some of you go out scantily clad. Now, I may put on a little freakum dress, look a little extra cute so that I can just look back at it as I'm walking out the door. And he's like, oh my gosh, like she really looks on point. I sure do. Now, some of you may ignore him for a while. Now, I am the queen of the ignore button. This is what I tend to do. Listen, I will play the silent game. Okay. I am the queen of the silent game. I won't. That's me. I won't have anything to say at all. But why don't we just break up with him? Why don't we just break up with him and keep it moving? That's not so easy to do when you've invested half of your life or even a substantial amount of years to the relationship. So I totally understand where, Sanya on Air is going to be looking more into this story because every day it's like something else unfolds. Now, speaking of our upcoming first hot topic guest, like I said, how many of you have watched Iyanla Vanzant's show on OWN Fix My Life? Now, one thing about me, mother lives for Iyanla and I live twice for an Iyanla moment. Now, R&B singer Keisha Cole's sister Neffeteria has a 2-part interview with Iyanla, and the promotional commercials are a little hard to watch. Now, if I'm saying it's hard to watch, because I'm hardcore Brooklyn. If it's hard for me to watch, just imagine what the world is viewing. And they're definitely viewing and they are definitely talking. Now, the controversy is, or the conversation is, was Iyanla too harsh or was she giving tough love? Now, Neffeteria is going to be joining us in just a few moments to give her side of the story. But this is what I want to do, Alan, if we can do real quick, because Neffeteria is on the line as we speak. What I want to do, just in case our listeners haven't seen the commercials or the first part of the interview, the second part airs tonight, so make sure, but we just want to give you some context so that you know what we're talking about. So, Alan, please play.
Notice I'm calling you Neffy now. I'm not calling you Miss Neffeteria anymore, because Miss Neffeteria understands who she is. But Neffy don't get that. Neffy's been running her life, and Neffy is a nasty, vile gutter snipe. You know what? Right up out the hood.
Call me out my name. What kind of is that?
Ooh, oh my gosh. So there were so many comments on social media, and I'm not one to believe anything because, there's 3 sides to every story. So I wanted to bring Neffeteria in and just ask her, what was this all about? What can we expect on tonight's show? And did Iyanla definitely fix your life? Neffeteria, how are you?
Hi.
Now, quick question. Do you prefer to be called Neffy or Neffeteria? Because I know Iyanla said there's a difference there. What do you prefer to be called? And is there a difference?
Yeah, there's a difference between Neffy and Neffeteria. Not a huge difference, but there's a big difference. But I'm stepping into Neffeteria, so I would prefer to be called Neffeteria.
I got you. So tell us, who is Neffeteria?
Neffeteria is the mother the friend, well, I was going to use the term wife, but I'm going through a divorce.
Okay.
Neffeteria is the one that has the compassion and love in her heart. She's also the one that's strong and independent. And, Neffeteria is all the way different than Neffy.
I hear you. So when did you come to the realization that you wanted to transition from Neffy to Neffeteria? Because I'm going to be honest, my name is Sanya, but there's a personality, Niecy. Niecy's a totally different person. So when did you come to the realization that you wanted to evolve?
I believe everyone has, an alter ego, so they want to speak, you know what I mean? But I came to the realization a long time ago that I no longer wanted to walk in Neffy. And I know that the world met Neffy and really don't know Neffeteria. So, I decided that this time they needed to see and know that, Neffeteria is that queen. Neffeteria is that woman. Woman. And Neffy is that one that will absolutely cuss you out.
Oh, yeah, because Niecy will go to jail. Like, Niecy don't care. Niecy's in therapy, so we won't talk about her. Sanya's here representing today. Now, we just played the clip of the first episode of Iyanla Fix My Life, and it caused a lot of conversation, a lot of controversy. How did you feel when Iyanla, referred to you in such harsh terms, or was that just great editing? Did she really refer to you as that?
She most definitely did.
How did you feel about that?
I got up and walked off. Of course, y'all see that.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I looked at it as, okay, Neffy and Neffeteria is the same person. But then as I moved along, I said, you know what? She probably is right in knowing that Neffy and Neffeteria is two different people, but what I'm not is a gutter sniper.
Okay, I hear that.
Whatever, And I'm definitely not a female dog. So, I think that the approach may have been
harsh.
Yeah, a little harsh, but she meant well.
Okay.
Like it probably didn't even register to her. I don't know, because it definitely didn't register to me. And I took it for what it was. That's the reason why, I respect my elders.
Right.
And I had to get up and
regroup
and come back.
Right.
And finish my process.
So the second part of the interview, it airs tonight. What's one thing that really resonated with you where it caused you to look at yourself and say, oh my gosh, how did I get here? What can we expect tonight?
Well, tonight, and I don't want to give the show away too much.
No, we don't want to do that because we definitely want to tune in. But just, tease us a little bit.
Well, tonight you will actually see the healing. I really want people to pay attention to the healing part of it. Because, I went through the process as well as Mr. Lowry went through the process, and I'm glad that he is getting the healing that he needs as well as myself.
That's solo, right? Mr. Lowry is solo?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's who you're currently divorcing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead. Don't call me ma'am. I feel like an old lady. Just call me Sanya.
And don't get me wrong, he's an amazing guy. He's we're co-parenting. We're still in communication with each other. And, we're just going through the process like any other human being does.
I hear you.
So, and I think most of all, out of this episode, don't pay attention to the fact that she called me out my name or pay attention to what I recognize. And what I recognize is we as people do walk in character and don't walk in reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
We as people don't recognize some of the things that we need to recognize, and somebody on the outside looking in can.
Yes, so true.
And we as people have a hard time accepting the truth.
Yeah.
And the truth is that Neffeteria has and had been walking in Neffy and not walking in Neffeteria. And that's how she opened up my eyes.
I love it. You know, because sometimes people just get caught up in the dysfunction and it becomes so normal. And sometimes, you know, people on the outside looking in, especially when it comes from a place of love. And I know Iyanla, she definitely comes from a place of love. I too have that harsh tongue sometimes. And sometimes it's hard for people to kind of look past that. But, you know, ultimately being on the show, would you say that Iyanla helped you fix your life?
Well, I would say that she helped me identify with some of the things I need to fix in my life, but you can't fix nobody's life in 3 days.
I hear you. Okay, talk about it.
So the only person that I know that can fix my life is my Heavenly Father, and I give all glory and honor to Him. And what I will say is that from here on out, I will be, you know, an advocate to show and let people know that you can get help and it's okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's not going to happen in 3 days. It may not happen in a year. Just go get the help that is needed so that you can go through your process of healing and identify with yourself and what you need to fix so that you can help somebody else identify with their healing and what they should fix.
I love
it. I love and appreciate Iyanla Vanzant. She is my mother from another mother, my sister from another mother, and I love the process that I went through. It was the most best and worst experience of my life.
I hear that.
Yeah, spiritually, mentally, and physically draining, but it was so worth it, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
But you know, the reason why I reached out to you, Neffeteria, is because we've been watching you over the years, and you definitely have a story, a journey, just like everyone else. But what I was so happy to see is that, you know, even though some moments were difficult to watch and experience for you, you were firm and said, you know what, I want to make it through the other side. So we saw that battle, we saw that challenge. And this is why we're so interested in tuning in tonight. And this is why I was so interested in having you on the show, because you are definitely a success story to let us know that it's okay. But don't normalize the dysfunction. Let's make it to the other side as women. So I applaud you for showing us and the world that.
Oh, thank you.
Now, another question, because we do know that you are Keisha Cole's sister. How are things going on with the relationship between you and Keisha, and also you and your mom?
Oh, we're wonderful.
Yes.
Keisha's working. When I say she's working, I'm so proud of her. And Mom is good. Like, Mom is great. I just talked to her yesterday, and we're just moving forward as a family. We are in a great place.
Good. We love to hear that. Sanya on Air is about absolute success stories, the sex stories too, but that's another day. and just showing powerful stories and powerful people like you. So Neffeteria, much success. We'll definitely be tuned in tonight, and God bless you and your entire family. Thank you so much for being a guest today.
Thank you for having me, and you make sure that you guys pay attention to the healing, and not what was said.
We got it. Well, Neffeteria, you enjoy the rest of your day, and you tell Keisha Cole that new song that she has out, it makes me dance naked in my living room, and I appreciate her for that.
I will be sure to let her know that.
You take care, Neffeteria. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Amazing. So this is what I want you to know and understand, and this is why I reached out to Neffeteria to have her on the show, is that sometimes, you know, now that I'm a person in media and I'm learning the intricacies of the game and the plan sometimes for people to only show you what they want to show you. So, you know, that clip where Iyanla Vanzant called her a Vile Gutter Snipe, whatever Snipe is, I don't even know what that is. That's the only thing that people were focused on, the only thing that people concentrated on, the only thing that people sparked a conversation about. And I said, well, why don't we just have her tell her story? So I was just honored and pleased when Neffeteria answered my call to action so that she can just clear the air and give us her side of the story. And, the reason why, like I said, Mother Liz for Iyanla Vanzant, but this is one thing that I know true about Sanya. I'm very assertive. Sometimes it's interpreted as being aggressive. I really do love to help people. And sometimes my delivery may not be the best. I don't know if that's the Brooklyn in me. I don't know. I don't know if it's the resilience in me. I don't know if it's the charge to say, I'm a woman, and although you've tried for so many years when I was a young girl to minimize my voice, I'm going to use it every occasion I get. So I will not be silenced at all. I will not be silenced. So, I'm glad to see a success story in Neffeteria where she was so transparent in showing us her uncomfortable moments. Because sometimes people, let's keep it real here on Sanya on Air. Some of you go through your uncomfortable moments and you quit. You quit. You don't want to go through the hard fight to make it to the other side. So once again, Neffeteria, oh my gosh, thank you. I will definitely be tuned in to Iyanla Fix My Life tonight. So Alan, real quick, because I see you writing over there, I want to do the commercial break, do all that. And I'm excited to talk to our next guest coming up soon, Marciella Lusher. And like I said, this young girl, this young woman, this young lady, impressive resume. Okay, you'll find out why I'm talking about. She's so smart. You see people on television acting, and you think that that's all there is to them. So we'll be right back with Sanya on Air. Stay tuned.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Tim and Kyle Durrett. You may also know me as Davis West on the hit television series Queen Sugar on the OWN network. Listen, when I'm not prepping for a scene or on set doing my thing, I'm tuned in to Sanya on Air. Check her out, y'all.
welcome back to Sanya on Air. That was my girl Janet. You know, you might not know. I love Janet Jackson. You know, I just love music in general. And I was so for real, when I was talking to Neffeteria, R&B singer Keisha Cole's sister, Neffeteria. Keisha Cole has a new song, and I'm so serious. I know my neighbors are tired of me. I dance in my living room, butt naked. I really do. Why not? Good song, and I got it. And so why not? But speaking of Janet Jackson, you know that she recently had her son, her baby. She was married to this billionaire prince. Baby is marriage 5 years, and there was a stipulation in their what do you call that? Prenup. I'm definitely getting me a prenup too. There was some sort of stipulation in her prenup that if she stayed for 5 years, that she would automatically be entitled to a substantial amount of money. Trust me, Janet is no fool. She left at the 5-year mark. Okay. You mean to tell me that things just got a little bit fugazi? No, she knew what she was doing, and she wanted to stack her coins, so she stayed until that 5-year mark so she can get all of her coins. Speaking of coins, let's talk about who is trying to continue to steal someone coins. Mary J. Blige. You know I love me some MJB. That is my absolute favorite artist of all time. But Mary, mother, I am living for you because you are throwing angry shade. There's a difference between the shade. You can throw sarcastic shade. You can throw indifferent shade. But Mary is throwing angry shade. Let me tell you what's going on. So Mary says Kendu is her soon-to-be ex-husband. Now, he spent, get a load of this, $420,000 on his side chick. Ladies, don't this make you want to revisit your life and your career and your occupation? If somebody's going to spend $420,000 on you, I'm about to curse. Oh my gosh. Now, as previously reported, Kendu wants $110,000 in monthly spousal support, $5,000 a month to support his parents, $4,971 for 2 children from a previous relationship. Remember one of those children that I just spoke of, the 2 children from a previous relationship? His daughter, she was on last season's series, Growing Up Hip Hop. Remember, she was there and her boyfriend was physically and mentally abusing her. And it was so hard to watch this child go through this abuse on national television. And her father is entertaining conversations and situations with Mary J. Blige and trying to finesse her for her coins. Kendu, you better get your children and handle them because they're looking a lot crazy. Not a little crazy, but they're looking a lot crazy on national television. But it gets better. He also wants $1,200 for restaurant dining. You cheap now. That's one thing I'll spend money on is some food. You know I'm a foodie. Okay. Now, and $60,000 in rent he owes to several properties. Now, in these recent divorce documents, MJB, or Mary J. Blige, she is calling out Kendu. I'm calling him Can't Do. We're not going to call him Kendu anymore. He is Can't Do for taking, like I said, $420,000 of her money for travel charges on his side piece. Now, I'm just trying to figure out, what did he buy this side piece that added up to $420,000? It had to be all designer things. You know, you can buy a designer bag for, let's say, $20,000. Yeah, you can. But let's talk about my lifestyle. I'll buy a designer bag. The most I'll pay for a designer bag is, I would say, anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000. I have a few. That's a few $1,000s. You know, but like I said, this really, as a woman, it makes me revisit my career and my profession. Now, I wouldn't sell myself out. I'm just joking. You know, I have morals and I have standards. You have to. You have to. This is why we let, us ladies, we get a bad rap, and I make it no better. Talking about I need to think about changing my career and my profession. I'm just saying, and I say this because let me tell you something. You know that this is 2017, and it's hard out here for a pimp. Okay? It's like no matter how hard you work to where you are tired, you literally have people out there in the world who are doing nothing but laying on their backs or scouring the internet or the streets for the next come up. And they come up quite well. How many of you know a gold digger? You know a gold digger, Alan? You know a gold digger? Really? It's a man or a woman? It's a woman? It's a lot of gold diggers out there. I remember back in the day, and I hate to say back in the day, I'm talking about like in the 90s. There was a lot of gold diggers. And it was that reason because, the 80s and the 90s, the drug dealers were very prevalent. They had all the cash. They had all the money. So the girls looked at them, as if they were the next coming, the Messiah. I was one of those girls. I'm so serious. Drug dealers back in the day, they never impressed me at all because I just knew that this was a quick experience. It wasn't going to last long. Like, I'm in college just trying to better my life and have a career that is long standing. Darling, there is no career in selling drugs. But I might add, there are some drug dealers from the 90s that I know of who they made it good. Like, they turned into successful entrepreneurs. Look at Jay-Z. Let's talk about Jay-Z. Okay? Drug dealer, Brooklyn, Marcy Projects. And now he is one of the leading business owners in hip hop and used to be also in apparel when he had Rocawear. I'm not encouraging drug dealers. I'm not, but I'm just saying that, those drug dealers who are able to transition into a legitimate business, it's not too many of those individuals. So let's talk about not your drug dealer, but your gold digging friend, Alan. Is she cute?
Mm-hmm.
She is? You would date her?
Tried.
But what happened?
Not enough. Not enough coins. Seriously.
Wait a minute. So, like, your experience with her, how did she treat you to let you know that she was a gold digger?
Everything was measured in terms of what financial she can get from that relationship.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of the day, you had to put up.
Right, or she put your ass out. So let me ask you a question, because this has been a hot topic from people using coupons on the first date. Would you go on a date? You know about, what is this thing? It's this this site, this company, and they send you Groupon. You know what Groupon is?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Okay, so let's just call it a coupon. Let's call it a coupon. If you met a woman and you were, I like to call it intrigued. If I'm intrigued by somebody, that means a lot, because I don't like a lot of people. You're intrigued by this woman, and you had a Groupon to take her to, let's say, some expensive restaurant. You wouldn't?
No. The thing about it is,
I can't stand a cheap
first
guy.
impressions
Talk
are
about
lasting.
it.
And
that's like me showing up to my first date with some I was gonna say holy underwear, but he wouldn't see my holy underwear until they got a little bit more intimate.
Yeah.
So let's say
sweatpants.
Yeah, like I just came looking a hot mess.
Yeah.
He wouldn't like that.
I wouldn't. If I am to take you on a date,
okay,
I have to be prepared to spend my money
Talk about it.
on you for that date. Now I can
Professor
see we
Ogilvy.
are going out for a few months, and I have that Groupon.
Then you would.
Then we
Yeah.
would have been at a level
Right.
where I would be comfortable to say,
Right.
I have got this. What do you think of all that? But
Okay.
first impressions are supposed to be lasting.
Yes.
And
if you show me you
are
cheap.
interested in an individual, then you should show that in in a particular way.
Right.
And that is, if I'm going to invite you out, it has to be on my strength.
I hear you.
I
love it.
That's what I
Let me just tell you a story. You know, I live for a story. So I met this guy. Well, it was back in the day. I don't get myself in trouble. It was back in the day. I was dating this guy. And when we first started dating, Alan, he was taking me to expensive restaurants. How do I know they were expensive? It was the type of restaurant that just had the white cloth linen tablecloths, and the menu didn't have prices. I said, okay. And every restaurant, it was like either on a boat, sitting alongside, you know, the ocean or the river. I was like, yes, I live for this. Now, mind you, and I'll say this until I'm blue in the face, okay? For me, like, I don't get my rocks off these expensive restaurants because I could do that for myself. You know what I'm saying? But I did have to change our conversation because it got to a point, let's say in month 2 or 3, he wasn't taking me to those type of restaurants anymore. So I say all that to say is, in the beginning, especially when you're just getting to know a woman, if you can't afford it, just don't take her there. Like, don't fake the funk. Like, don't take her to this expensive restaurant and the only reason why you can go is because you have this Groupon. Because now you're setting up false expectations in this woman. She's going to be looking at you like, yo, I'm dating a baller. Darling, you are dating a gnawler, not.
But then again, I believe that you have to be creative
Yeah.
in your dates.
Yeah.
That you can invite somebody out to your house.
Yeah.
And you make it a special evening.
Wait. Pause for the cause. I'm not inviting anybody up to my house. It's going to be way after 6 months of us talking.
All well and good.
And even then, I'm a little bit skeptical because I don't want any man to get used to, like, I broke up with this guy. This was in my past life, though. It wasn't recently. Because as we were getting to know each other, and it was very early on, and he asked me, he was like, listen, can I come over to your place? I'm like, what do you want to come over to my place for? So I'm very conscious of, let's keep going out because I don't want you to get used to not taking me out. And you think that going out is at my place. So you will not get comfortable. The only thing that you will see about my place is when you're picking me up at the front door on the first floor. That's it. I don't know. I'm just real, non-traditional when it comes to relationships. You know, a lot of people look at me and hear the things that I say and they're like, you are a tough cookie when it comes to relationships. And it's only because, and this is my number one reason, even though there are so many other reasons. I have a daughter.
I was about to say
I have a daughter. And I don't want to send her mixed messages to interpret any type of experience that I'm showing her. So I want to make sure that, whatever message I'm sending her, or not even trying to send her, because what I know to be true, even when I'm doing things and I'm not talking directly to her, she's paying attention. She's paying attention. So I want to just make sure that every message is clear. It doesn't leave room for false interpretation at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So, but anyway, I was talking about Mary J. Blige and cannot. So the question that I had posed was, what is he buying her that added up to $420,000? Now, ladies, do you not know how to leave strap hangers alone? Now, strap hangers let you know they are strap hangers when you meet them or early on when you're dating. We just talked about Groupons and, inviting men over to your home. Now, ladies, if you're making coins in your pockets, why do you mess with men who only have lint? Now, don't get me wrong. That lint can turn into coins. But let me just be honest again. And I may receive a lot of backlash for this. Okay. I'm not expecting a man to be super, super, super rich. What I'm expecting my man to be is a hard worker. A hard worker. Because when he's a hard worker, the money will come. But I'm talking about the men with only lint in his pockets and he's sitting on his behind looking at daytime talk shows and sitting on the couch when you come home from work every single day. That's the type of man with lint in his pockets I'm talking to. The man with lint who doesn't have any type of motivation, who doesn't even have a plan. Okay, so that's the man that I'm talking about. All right, so I'm not saying that you got to be a gold digger and date only men with money. I'm just saying don't date strap hangers, men who only have lint in their pockets and they're not motivated to do anything else. Now, if he is lazy, unmotivated, or nowhere in his professional life, and where you are, why are you playing Russian roulette with your life and community service with your vagina? Let's be real about that. I am just saying. Now, just tell him why you're mad, Mary. Now, in a recent tweet, okay, Mary, she went in hard. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's throwing angry shade. She says, F you can do Isaacs. I effing hate him and his whole family. I unfollowed him on Instagram, and all of my fans need to as well. Hashtag strength of a woman. Hashtag do dead day. Those hashtags are funny. Now, if you don't know, Strength of a Woman is the name of her new album. But I have no idea what do dead day is. I guess she is saying, dude, you are dead on this day. Now, this is funny. So remember at the beginning of this show, I was asking, like, ladies, what do you do when you want to get back at your man? And with the super emergence of social media, a lot of you just get to talking trash about your man on social media. I can't do that. I think it's a very infantile. I really do. Like, on my social media, you never, ever hear me go into detail about who I'm dating, because that's my business. And I'm very hush mouth. I'm very personal. And I just don't like a lot of eyes and ears into my personal life, because I learned my lesson early on in my 20s when I did that. And every time I was, got into an argument with my man, I was talking to friends and family, and they were judging him, starting to hate him. And then when my relationship got back on the rocks, they were still hating him, even though I was okay. So the conversation from them was like, girl, you need to leave that man, because remember when he did X, Y, and Z? So social media, ladies, stop going on social media ranting about your man. One thing, at the onset of the show, I was saying what we do is you either withhold sex. I definitely don't do that. I may just say, no, not right now, but you're going to get it in the morning. Right? So you may withhold sex. You may stop cooking. Okay, I might do that. But like I said, I don't cook a lot to begin with. I'm just too busy. You may go out scantily clad. You may ignore him for a while. But one thing that I think every woman does, OMG, a woman will talk about her man's mama when she's angry. Your bald-headed mama, your no-tooth having mama, your meddling mama. We always go to the man's mother, because when you talk about your man's mom, OMG, he is definitely going to be wide awake now. He is definitely going to catch whatever emotional, shade you want him to acknowledge, address, and live in just for a moment. But I think it's hilarious. I know that's what my mom does to my dad. And it's embarrassing, and I tell her don't do that, because my grandmother, my mom, my dad's mom, like, she's deceased. So I'm just like, Mom, why are you talking about my granny and she's deceased? My mother does not care. When she wants to go in a hard body on my dad, she talks about his mother as if his mother personally wrote a song called "You Are Not the Right Wife for My Son," and it was a Grammy award-winning song. It's downloaded on iTunes. It is going to be the headlining song on the 2017 Grammy Awards. Like, you would think that my grandmother really did something to my mom, but even though she did, it's all about hurting the man. That's all it is. That's all it is. So, Alan, let me ask you something. So, if you're dating a woman and you get into an argument and she started talking about your mother, would that be a deal breaker for you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It
shit.
would.
See, wait, pause. Ladies, do you see how sensitive men are, especially when it comes to their mothers?
The thing about it is,
Well, you gonna cut me off? Go ahead. What?
stay
What?
with me.
Okay, I'm gonna stay with
me.
you.
Do not bring my mother, my father, my brother. Do not bring my family
Okay.
into a disagreement you and I are having.
You're right. I don't do that, by the
Right?
way.
Because
I don't do that.
at the end of the day, like you say, people get angry.
Wait, pause
people
for.
get upset.
I did talk.
What?
I'm lying. I take it back. Like my boyfriend's mother. Yeah, I talk about that ass.
Yeah. But what happens when you make up?
I still talk about his mother.
No, what I'm saying is, to me, if you're gonna attack my family,
Okay.
it kind of makes the making up a little harder.
It does.
It really does.
It does. I hope the relationship between his mother and I gets a lot better. But it's been, I won't even say how many years. It has just been dysfunctional. Only because the mother thinks it's okay to disrespect me.
No, that is totally different.
It is. And I'm such a wonderful woman.
It is different that if it is mother against me,
Right.
I'm going to deal with mother.
Yeah.
But if it's you and I, let's just be you and I.
Yeah, the mother,
Yeah.
Comes against me, and so he doesn't say anything. So,
No.
I got to defend.
No, yeah. No,
I'm like,
that
wait a
is
minute,
different.
bald-headed heifer.
That is different. That is totally different, right?
Yes.
If my mother steps out of her place,
Okay, then it's okay.
then she should be
Yeah, that's what I wait for.
reminded.
I wait
where
for her
she
to
should
open
be.
Pandora's box.
Yeah, no.
Because I was always taught to respect. But, I'm a grown woman, and another grown woman will not disrespect me.
That's
and the only
right.
reason why she has a problem with me, it is because of anything that I've done or anything that I've said. He's a mama's boy. So when he started paying more attention to me and listening more to me, and she started to get a little bit jealous, and then I became this woman who, it's like, why is she with my son
No,
trying to
you're
control his
threatening
life?
her.
Yeah, I was threatening that bald-headed scallywag. Hi. Oh my gosh. So I don't know what was going on today, but just having a great time in the studio. But Mashiella Lusha, I don't know what was going on with her. I sent her agent an email. Let me just check my email while we're in the studio. When I tell you just getting here to the studio today, it was crazy. Just the trains. Let me just tell you about that. So if you know anything about New York City trains, you are grateful if you can just take one train to where you're going. Today, typically I take 2 trains to get here, but there was one train that was going to end the service midway through the journey. So I said, okay, so I'll take that one train and I'll get off early to take another train. So I get on that train, which runs express, the A train. Who doesn't know the A train in New York City runs express? Not today. The A train was definitely running local, and they had so many trains on the same train track that, I kid you not, I was stuck at, I believe it was like 86th Street for 20 minutes. 20 minutes just sitting on the train, listening to people talking about it's showtime, just dancing. I started to buy me a candy bar from the kids, but I was like, I'm not going to do that because I don't even know where they are getting these candy bars from. So no email from her, but an email from someone else from this other company just asking if I can do a conference call today. I'm tired. After this, I have a celebrity event to go to. I'm looking forward to it. Some past members of Destiny's Child is going to be there. Demetria McKinney from House of Pain and Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she's also a singer. There's also going to be some other celebrity guests. So I'll be doing media coverage of that event for about 4 hours tonight. So no second guest today. Live radio, it is what it is. We might try to reschedule. I don't know what happened. But this is what happens in live radio. And this is one thing that I'm always telling you that I've learned being in live radio. The show must go on. So when I'm telling you, as soon as you heard the music for Sanya on air play, I had just sat down in my chair. Okay? But the show must go on. So I hope that today's show was engaging. Once again, thank you to Neffeteria for tuning in to Sanya on air. I hope that you had a lot of fun. Do me a favor, though, and I'm going to try to adhere to this lesson, too. Don't talk about your man's mother. But if she calls me out my name one more time, I'm just joking. I love you. So let's do this. Let's just ride on out with another wonderful edition of Sanya on Air. I'll be back next week with an all new show. I'll be back tomorrow with an all new show. Stay you, stay beautiful, dance while you're living out your life fabulously. I love you for being loyal listeners. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, listen man, if you never came up to Sanya on Air Radio, you're missing out, or you just not know that type of person that ain't out here trying to work. It's been a pleasure coming all the way to New York City, man. The hospitality was good. I even got some free water today in the little cup. But the interview was well spoken. If you ever been some interviews of like, she know what she's talking about. Her correction is on point. It was just a good event. It was a good experience, man. I just appreciate her allowing me to come and talk about my new movie. The engineer man was cool. He was bugging out. And the music was pretty good. They got good music choices. So please, keep supporting Sanya on Air Radio.
Yeah.